Hey, what's up guys? This is Bevan here, and today we're going to talk about small compact camera rigs that you can use on your outdoor adventures. Now when we go out on our outdoor adventures, we love to take both photo and video of everything we get up to. It's a great way to get variety in your content, but it doesn't come without its disadvantages, namely extra gear that you need to pack and carry, and oftentimes a hefty price tag. You don't really want to compromise on image quality, but when space is an issue, how do you know what to pack and what to leave behind? So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of the super compact rigs that we use on our outdoor shoots and talk about the different situations that they're best suited towards. Now, I'm by no means a camera guru or a professional, and this is not an exhaustive guide. There's loads of options out there. All I want to do here is show you what works for us and maybe give you some ideas for building your own outdoor camera rig. So let's dive straight in. Let's start off with our most light and compact rig, the GoPro 7 Black. GoPros have been around for a long time. They've been the mainstay of the POV world for many years. But GoPro's latest feature, Hypersmooth, has turned this little camera into an all-in-one rig. I have no idea how it works, but Hypersmooth basically acts like an invisible gimbal that helps to stabilize otherwise shaky clips and give you liquid smooth footage that looks both professional and pleasing to watch. We use our GoPro in POV situations with our trusty mouth mount, but there are a number of GoPro accessories that you can couple to this. The GoPro 7 Black is also waterproof in its case, so we often use it for surfing and snorkeling clips too. We've used it a little for vlog style footage, but we mainly use this as our B camera to get those hyper smooth follows and leads. The pros with this as a rig is that this is an all-in-one compact unit that you can stuff into your bag or shove into your pocket while you're out and about. There are no special assemblies or setups required. You literally press record and go. The GoPro 7 Black has exceptional video and image quality. 4K at 60 frames a second and 1080p at 240 frames a second means that there's some amazing slow-mo features here as well. It has a very robust build and is waterproof up to 10 meters. And it's fairly cheap when you compare it with the same specs in other rigs. And finally, the 7 Black is compatible with the plethora of GoPro accessories that go with these cameras. The only real con that we've had with the GoPro 7 Black is that it doesn't do as good a job as a gimbal at keeping your horizon line flat and giving you nice control over the camera movement. All in all, this is a fantastic little rig that takes up virtually no space at all. It packs a great punch and we use it all the time. While the GoPro 7 Black has certainly changed the way we shoot, there are some instances where we want that control over the camera movement, such as slow pans over a landscape or controlled tilts while the camera is moving. And in those instances, we like to opt for our next rig, which is the mobile phone and gimbal combination. Mobile phones are just getting better and better with their photo and video capabilities, and all that power packed into a small device that fits into the palm of your hand is a powerful tool when you're out and about. Taking photos on a mobile phone is simple enough, but shooting video handheld really looks tacky, and that's where the gimbal comes in. There are loads of brands of gimbal, but we personally use the FreeVision Vilta M, and I've been blown away by just how much of a difference this thing makes. Whether shooting slow pans or making harsh sweeping movements, the gimbal makes you look like an absolute pro. We even managed to get crane-like stabilization while running down the stairs. It was actually quite phenomenal. This kind of rig is great for filming things like hikes or low-speed sports where you or your subject aren't moving terribly quickly. It's excellent for situations where you want that dynamic camera movement with a high degree of control, such as your tilts and your pans. The pros with a system like this is that they are compact and light. This is all there is to it. They're easy to operate and the results are amazing. Consumer gimbals are pretty cheap and they're quick and easy to assemble. And because you're shooting on a mobile phone, uploading and sharing your content online is pretty quick and easy too. The cons with this system is that they're actually quite fragile. These motors can't really take that much. Even a strong wind becomes a problem. They're electronic devices, which means that they need to be charged to be operated. The image quality depends on the phone that you use, and that can be quite expensive in itself. Phones aren't generally designed for extensive filming, so if you end up doing that, they can get really hot and start to bug out after a while. And finally, all that image processing really takes a toll on your phone's battery life, so you may need to get a power bank to add that to the mix. The mobile phone and gimbal combination is small, compact, easy to set up, and gives amazing results. Can be a little unreliable at times, but all in all, this thing is pretty well suited for almost any situation. Finally, if we know we have the luxury of a little bit more packing space, we'll try and use our biggest rig, which is the DSLR setup. The biggest benefit of a DSLR or mirrorless system is that you can use different lenses, and that means you can exploit the unique characteristics of each one. For example, you can get those super wide fisheyes with their massive field of view, or go for a telephoto lens that can isolate and capture subjects in the distance. We use our DSLR for both photos and video, but whatever the application, the biggest challenge is always stabilization. A nice light tripod or a car door beanbag normally does the trick for most photo and some video scenarios, but when we're shooting video, we like to move the camera, and that requires specialized kits. For this, we like to use a weight-balanced gimbal system. With this rig, the camera is mounted atop this plate and is counterbalanced by weights on the sled. The net result being that the whole system is stabilized. We love using this setup for moving portraits of people, so we generally go for lenses in the 28 to 50mm range. That gives you that lovely sharp foreground and blurry background effect. The pros with this rig is that it's extremely versatile because of all those lenses you can make use of. DSLRs have nice long battery lives, and most of them have a robust build, which means they can be put in a bag and handle a little knock here and there. The cons are that DSLRs and all that accompanying kit can get very bulky and heavy, especially if you're carrying it around. Things also get very expensive as you start adding to your rig. When shooting video, the gimbal takes a lot of getting used to, and it also takes a long time to set up. And ultimately, it's just another piece of kit you got to carry around. And finally, DSLR cameras are prone to one of my pet peeves, and that is dust on the sensor. Changing lenses exposes the camera body to dusty environments, and there's nothing worse than coming back from a great shoot to find spots all over your images. The bulk of our shooting is done on our DSLR rig because we don't really mind carrying that extra bulk and baggage, but ultimately we end up using a combination of all three rigs whenever we're out on a shoot. We also pack external microphones for sound recording. We'll use our shotgun mic for general recording, as well as the lapel mic to voice recorder if we're going to move the subject and mic away from the camera. So that's it. Those are the compact rigs that we like to use to record our outdoor adventures. Like I say, this is by no means an exhaustive guide, and I'm sure there are dozens and dozens of other options out there. This is just what works for us, and hopefully it's given you some ideas on what could work for you with your outdoor rig. The whole point here is to get outside, get great photos, great video without your camera gear weighing you down and getting in the way of you having a good time. So until next time, keep well and bye-bye.